just to make sure everything's rolling right. And also, don't forget, if you're here and you hear me, hit that like button. If you're new, hit subscribe, and if you have not yet hit that notification bell, of course, always do that. Let's see here. Yeah, I see that, Rodas. You've been listening to Mark Holmes, and we're going to talk about that. I have a huge breakdown here of things, so please flow with me here on this. Fiance liked my appearance in video. Yes, yes, yes. We did discuss that, and there's a couple appearances with my Cowboys family all over the YouTube world and Vacha Lombardi, Law Nation, um, Cowboys X Factor, South of Heaven. That's Mike Mosh makes jerseys. So, anyways, guys, much love tonight. If you guys can hear me again, say Go Cowboys. There we go, Rodas. Thank you, Rodas. I appreciate that. Um, so let me get back to the news, guys. I'm gonna repeat the one little piece of news. I'm not sure if you guys got or not about Will McClay. The Houston Texans are looking for a replacement for their GM, and right now he's on the top of their list right now. Will McClay, which is our vice president of player personnel, and also they're looking at the Eagles' vice president of player personnel, Joe Douglas, who's highly sought after as well. So that's a step for another part of our dismantling of what we have in place. I kind of surprised about that, to be honest, but. In the end, it doesn't seem the Cowboys are fighting it too much. So I'm not really sure what's going to go on with the Will McClay thing. That's kind of a temporary thing for now. Let's see how that progresses. Now, I do want to say that I got to talk about Jon Gruden with the Oakland Raiders. That's official, guys. 10 years over. Let me see here. Make over 100 million. I think he's going to make over a 10-year period, or about 100 million over 10 years. So, guys, that's a huge contract. His coordinators, his offensive and defensive coordinators and player, I'm assuming, the special teams as well, getting 4-year deals. So it's a package deal here. They have like a plan to build. 2 years for Oakland, 2 years for Vegas is what it's looking like when it comes to the Oakland Raiders / Las Vegas Raiders. So he's definitely cashed in there, and somebody that I wish that Jerry Jones could have broken the bank for. If you look back in Cowboy history, the longest contracts given to NFL head coaches, Tom Landry with the Dallas Cowboys in 1964 for 10-year contract. Obviously, he was there for over 25. So, that worked out pretty well for the Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson, given a 10-year deal in 1989 by Jerry Jones. We know how that ended after about 5 years, right? It's 5 years, 5 years. After 2 Super Bowls, Jerry Jones got upset because he said he built that team, not Jimmy Johnson, which it was Jimmy Johnson. So with that ended our possible 4 in a row, maybe more. Jon Gruden with the Raiders this year right now. This is the 10-year deal. So guys, that's when you look at the head coach deals in the history of the NFL, Tom Landry in 1964, Jimmy Johnson 1989, and Jon Gruden, all 10-year contracts. So interesting to see our guys up there. And too bad Jerry Jones didn't pull that pull that in from just go for that, then go for a really good coach. And we know why. We know he wants a puppet coach in there. He wants a puppet like Jason Garrett that will, I don't want to say be a complete yes man or yes sir person, but pretty much will do whatever Jerry Jones says. Jerry Jones is really, in a way, allowing Jimmy Johnson. I mean, he's allowing Jason Garrett to take the reins for the most part, but when it comes down to decision time, it's Jerry Jones who's coaching just about. So, and I know I'm not trying to say that he's actually coaching. He's obviously, the play calling is by Lenahan, and that's where the problems start. Jason Garrett not intervening when it's third and 3 yards to go from and first and goal against the Seattle Seahawks, and you decide to pass twice. Those are things where the coaches have to be better, in my opinion, and they're staying on, so they're not going anywhere. So as far as other coaches on the Cowboys staff, we have a wide receivers coach, Derek Dooley. Okay, he's accepted a job to become the offensive coordinator at Missouri, becoming the 4th change on Jason Garrett's staff. If you do remember, I'm going to go through them in a minute here, but Dooley was set to return to the Cowboys after meetings during this week, but he was able to secure a coordinator's job. So now, guys, he's at the coordinator he's the offensive coordinator at Missouri. It's a promotion for him, even though he's going to college, he's still becoming an offensive coordinator. So congrats to him. He's gone. And if you want to break down what we've lost so far, special teams coach Rich Bisaccia, who's going to Oakland with Gruden, getting that 4-year deal, been released, of course, from the Cowboys for the remainder of his contract. Um, Now, there's Gary Brown, the running backs coach. He's supposed to be leaving to Oakland as well. But there's some word I'm hearing now that the Cowboys are trying to retain him and get him to stay on the Cowboys coaching squad. So we'll see what happens with Gary Brown. We have this guy named Matt Eberflus, the team's passing game coordinator and linebackers coach. This guy, he's supposedly sought after. He's another assistant whose contract has expired. So look for him to be trickling away unless there's some kind of deal that Garrett will give him, Jerry Jones will give him some kind of promotion, which I don't know if he really should get it because that's the passing game coordinator. We know we've had problems there, and also the linebacker coach. So he coaches both those sides. He says there's also appears to be interest in him around the league. So keep that in mind. Cowboys are trying to keep him into in the Cowboy coaching squad there. But again, we're going to have several new head coaches. All right, because wide receiver coach Derek Dooley, as we said, is gone. Quarterback coach Wade Wilson retired. Defensive backs coach Joe Baker's gone. And also tight end coach Steve Loney will not be back as well. So these guys are all gone. And a lot of these names that are going to replace them, former Cowboy players. So let me just double check, guys. I think that is it with the coaches. Let me run through here just a couple little cool things as you can see here. I don't know if you can see it. There's Dak, guys. He's holding oikos. That is the Greek yogurt that you remember Cam Newton used to promote. And after that comment about women reporters, he was kind of kicked to the curb by them. So today, Oikos 000 announced that they will begun their Fuel Your Hustle campaign with Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. So just a little thing you might see in commercials. Not that I really care. I just want to see him throwing touchdowns and making right game management plays, passes, handoffs, whatever it takes. Use your feet to run, whatever. Let's stick to that, and then you make your commercials. But you got to give him props for that. At least he's taking the place of another big time quarterback. Let's see if he can fill those shoes. Now, the first team All-Pro, guys, was announced today in the NFL. First team All-Pro. We always get our offensive linemen on there, right? No. We always get, we're going to get DeMarcus Lawrence in that, right? No Cowboys made the first team. And a lot of people thought that both DeMarcus Lawrence and Zach Martin made the All-Pro second team. But what I'm hearing is that DeMarcus Lawrence did not make it, only Zach Martin. So that's something to keep in mind, guys. Just for, NFL is kind of shafting us, in a way, even though that, do they deserve it? Probably not. But, as far as a team, but do they deserve it as players? And probably so. If you guys have been keeping up really quickly on the Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, Tom Brady issues, the back and forth, the talk was that Brady was going to be replaced by Jimmy Garoppolo by, Bill Belichick's word. Brady got pissed, went to Robert Kraft, the owner, and complained about it, got his job back, and of course the eventual trade to San Francisco for Jimmy Garoppolo for a second-round pick, which is a great deal by San Francisco. That's supposedly been big fueling the fire. Belichick gonna be leaving. I don't believe so. I think he's moved on from that. I'm assuming so because they're obviously still winning. And they released a statement today. They said here, for the past 18 years, the three of us have enjoyed. This is a group joint statement by these three guys: Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, head coach Bill Belichick, and quarterback Tom Brady. For the past 18 years, the three of us have enjoyed a very good and productive working relationship. And they say in recent days there have been multiple media reports that have speculated theories that are unsubstantiated, highly exaggerated. So it could be true, highly exaggerated or flat out inaccurate. The three of us share a common goal, look forward to an enormous challenge of competing in the postseason, and an opportunity to work together in the future, just as we have the past 18 years. It is unfortunate that there is even a need for us to respond to these fallacies, as our actions have shown we stand united. So that's kind of reinforcing that the Patriots still have that, mindset to seek and destroy every team in their path. And, it's unfortunate for the Cowboys that we only get a chance ever to really play them in the Super Bowl, not with the current Tom Brady squad. I would love to have had a shot against them, but Romo couldn't do it. Dak couldn't do it. Cowboys couldn't do it. So, he has. So congrats to the Patriots for that. Now, I do want to go over some salary cap stuff and roster, draft information, guys. So let me see some questions first, guys, from you guys, from the crew out here. And guys, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell. And guys, we also have Super Chat. As you can see, we have a little contest going up here. DJ Crown J has won it the last 2 weeks, but there's always been competition. So much love to everybody out there, and thank you all who have, not only subscribed and commented and posted, but also donated. And if you guys donate over $10, you get yourselves My Cowboys Family custom made rubber band, whatever these are called, rubber wristbands, guys. So, we already are sending some out this weekend for those that already have, and there's a lot of you guys. So thank you all that have contributed and donated, and we're sending them out ASAP. Just make sure you guys send us your address. Remember, it's all down here, the information. Make sure you send us your address, your mailing address, whatever one you want us to send it to, P.O. Box, whatever it may be. And you can send us through our email, mycowboysfamily@gmail.com. So thank you. And right now, Big Herb in the lead. So let's see here, guys. Cowboys X Factor. Good for him. Dez, no excuses. Step up if he stays. Should protect Brown like McClay. Gary Brown. You say, okay, I can see that. I mean, I think he hasn't been bad for us, the running backs coach. You got Zeke back there. He's doing a lot of things for you. We them boys. Says Dez is a butterfingers. In recent memory, yeah, in recent time, he's gotten worse. He was bad last season. In this past season, he dropped them. The season before this, when we were doing well, he did catch the touchdowns, but he bobbled so many of those passes. So yeah, it seems like it's a degrading situation when it comes to his ability to catch the ball. And I've never seen that happen too often from these receivers. Usually when you catch the ball, you catch the ball. It doesn't really change. Nothing really changes you. And it's not like he's gone over the middle and gotten popped or gotten some big hits. No, he just dropped plain straight passes into his hands. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about Dez and the salary cap. It's very important. I have a huge breakdown here, guys, and I'm going to go through this in a moment. Hello, Newman in the house. What's up? JJ does all day's draft is like Mel Kiper, premium account, draft picks. There's a lot of things going on right now. We got to see what he's going to do with the draft. And it's not him. It's not Jerry Jones, although he does make that final call. But we have to see what happens when it comes to this draft. And I have a mock draft coming up right now, actually. You know what? Let me do that real quick, guys. I've found this mock draft for the Cowboys. I'm going to run through it. I don't know many of these college players. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. But here's what they use this FanSpeak simulator, okay, and Matt Miller's big board. So I'm going to start you off with that, all right? So let's see. They did the whole draft. So let's see what they said, guys, and let me know what you think. Give me one moment here to make sure. Yeah, I think we're still going good here. Still streaming, I think. Yeah, there we go. So you guys can all hear me. It's all good. All right. So Cortland's round 1, 19th pick. Without trading up, they're saying Cortland Sutton, wide receiver, SMU. So they're saying he's a big physical receiver. I don't know if we need one of those unless we get rid of Dez. And I don't see us getting rid of Dez. So I don't know if that's a good prediction by this simulator. But I would say I'm still with it. Trade a 3rd pick, a 4th pick, a 4th and a 5th pick, and your 1st pick to move up 4 or 5 spots to secure Roquan Smith from Georgia. So that'd be my hope. I think we need to reinforce our linebacking core and also re-sign Hitchens. I'm going to tell you how I think we can do that in a moment here. So round 1, Cortland Sutton from SMU wide receiver. Round 2, they're saying here linebacker from Iowa, Josie Jewell. I've heard some good things about him. So maybe a good pick there. Round 3, they're saying offensive guard. So far, I like other than the receiver, I like linebacker, offensive guard. Will Hernandez, they're saying, from UTEP. You guys probably know these names. Yes, I've been to multiple Cowboy games, Eagle 01, multiple. Round 4, they're saying Marcus Davenport, defensive end, which it'd be nice to grab one of them. Now, we have a lot of 4th-round picks. Another 4th-round pick they're saying here is Holton Hill, cornerback, Texas. Then they're saying their final 4th-round pick, Troy Fumagalli, tight end, Wisconsin. Okay, you guys probably know these better than I do. Yes, I don't want Sutton. Thank you, Rodas. I appreciate that because that's my general feeling for a 1st-round pick, and for we don't want a receiver there. Now they're saying here 5th round safety Damon Webb, Ohio State. In the 5th round, they're saying here in the 5th round with our 2nd pick in the 5th round. Now, granted, guys, remember we might not be able to even touch these guys if we trade 1 or 2 of these picks away along with their 1st to move up for a Roquan Smith linebacker from Georgia. But they're saying here another 5th round pick, defensive lineman from North Carolina State, Kentavious Street. And as we're going down to the 6th round, they're saying Sky Moore, linebacker, South Carolina. And round 7, running back, which I do think we should probably grab one late like this. And I like the positions for the most part, except for the first round pick. Round 7, running back from Washington, Myles Gaskin. So those are the predictions by this group here from the Matt Miller's board. Is that right? Yeah. Matt Miller's board and using the FanSpeak simulator. So guys, you would know better than I do. Drop your comments or your texts now, whatever, your messages now. So Noah over Daniel Collazo says, I feel big changes coming for the Cowboys. I hope so. We need to reinforce our defensive line, says Rodas. I agree with that as well. What's up, Daniel? Don't want Sutton for sure. We need Josh Gordon type. Rodas, I see that, but Josh Gordon could be something we could have a deal with and lace with multiple incentives, and still hit us low on the salary cap. We'll have to wait and see about that. Now, guys, I have this breakdown here. You can see I wrote a lot, and I just kind of did this off of some research, all right? And it's about our salary cap, all right? And let's get real here, all right? There's going to be some probable losses here. We're not going to want to talk about. We want to see. We want to say. But what I'm looking at here, and I'm going to try to give it to you as honestly as possible. All the information I've compiled. Here's what we're looking at, guys. We have 11.3 million open. That's to start off this season, and I'm assuming that's with all the changes and all the 4 to 10 million advancement that NFL is going to increase the salary cap. But I'm not sure if that's been confirmed yet. So I don't see how they can make that an accurate number. So I'm saying here 11.3 million is what's open right now as we enter the 2018 season. Another 8 million or so, maybe 8.1, carries over from 2017 that we still have open. All right? That gives us about 19.3, 19.4 million. Now, when you look at that, I believe there's multiple ways that we can sign DeMarcus Lawrence, David Irving, Zach Martin, and even Anthony Hitchens, our linebacker. I believe it's very possible. Now, how we do that? That's a good question. How do we do that? Well, look at it like this, guys. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be, I had reports of 17 million. Now I'm hearing reports of 15 plus, and 15 point something. If we have to franchise tag him, that's what it would cost, more or less, between 15 and 17 million. And remember, we have about 19 million open. If we use our second round tender, which all signs point to yes when it comes to David Irving, assuming, we have to make sure his concussion plays out okay for him. So, that's another question mark as well. But if things work out, and we're assuming it will, 3 million is going to go to David Irving. So right there, you're hitting that, you're a little over already on that 19 million. But let's just say we cover those two guys with the 19 or 20 million there. Okay, let's say it's 15 and 3. That's 18 million. We got another $1.5 million left over. We have Zach Martin. He has on his last year of his contract here in 2018. And 2019, he's going to be the first guy in the free agency that's going to be taken. First guy. An offensive guard like him, a future Hall of Famer. You have to re-sign him here in the offseason. So the Cowboys have to really get this done before the season kicks off. And here's the thing. There's a good chance that, of course, in the end, he's going to re-sign with the Cowboys. I don't see, there's no signs that point to no on that as of right now. But as soon as he gets signed, they're going to restructure his contract. And I don't mean that in a way that we did it with like a Romo style, but let's just say we can make it cap friendly. He gets a big signing bonus or extension bonus or whatever you want to call it, and they can move the money around a certain way. It still hits the salary cap, but you got to remember for Zach Martin, when he goes home, he's not going to just get $4 million because that's what it says on the contract. Yeah, he's going to get $4 million for that season, for that next season, for next year. Or this year, let's say, it would be if you got restructured. So this year you'd get $4 million. Next year, let's say he gets $6 million. And as you move it down to the end of his career, he'll be averaging about 10, 12, 13 million as it keeps going. So, the reason that's done like that, and I think Mark Holmes did describe it in the proper way, is that, these guys still not going to go home with $4 million. Okay, they're going to go with $4 million, and then the signing bonus. They might get an $18 million signing bonus, and then, that's prorated as in the salary cap throughout the time of the contract. So, what I'm trying to say is that we'll be able to finesse the salary cap well enough to maybe instead of hitting us with a $9.3 million price tag, which is what it's currently hitting us with, which is Zach Martin this season, we can drop that back down to like $4 or $5 million. which save us another 4 or 5 million. So now you got about 5 or 6 million you have currently open on your salary cap after you've signed DeMarcus Lawrence, after you've signed David Irving, and after you sign Zach Martin. And I'm saying DeMarcus Lawrence, if we get him on a franchise tag, like I said, 15 to 17 million. If we get him on a contract similar to these other guys I'm talking about, where we give him a big signing bonus, or extension bonus, whatever you want to call it, some kind of bonus for a re-signing, and then move that money into, the rest of his latter part of his contract. That's the way the Cowboys have worked it. And I know Mark Holmes says that we shouldn't do that. And I agree with him. But that's the way Jerry Jones does it. Let's talk about reality. Jerry Jones will do that. Jerry Jones is going to continue to restructure these contracts. He doesn't mind paying them at the end. He doesn't mind taking that $10 million hit every year. Basically, that's going to happen. He's trying to stagger these contracts so they hit in different years. The only one we don't want to mess with, and I agree with him and other people, is Tyron Smith. We cannot mess with his contract. He's $17.5 million this year, and if he's injured and we have to pay it out next year, the year after, then we're in trouble with that contract. It will be real dead money, and it will be severe over a couple of years. If we can get over the hump with this season with him and the $17 million, I think we'll be a little bit better off as the next. If we can just hold off on restructuring his contract now. Des Bryant, you ask? Yeah, we're going to get to those guys in a minute. But right now at this moment, with DeMarcus Lawrence, David Irving, and Zach Martin, we're still up about $4, $5, $6 million in the salary cap right now, open. And we have all these three guys signed, maybe Lawrence to a long contract. If that's the case, we have another 5 or 6 million or 10 million open possibly, if we can finesse his contract to a $4 or $5 million first season, and ends at like 12, 13, 14, 15 million towards the end of his contract. But we give him a huge signing bonus in the beginning. It doesn't hit the cap. That's the way I just said. So if we can do that, that'd be great. But then you have to say, hey, that 1 year he gave us, it's got a forever thing. Has he shown enough to warrant a long-term contract? I believe it's on that borderline, yes. But if he can give us if he can give the Cowboys a deal for long term and they can come to terms, then I wouldn't mind that as well, especially the way he looked this season. So those three guys, one way or the other, worst case scenario, we're going worst case, DeMarcus Lawrence is franchise tagged. Worst case scenario, that means that we still have $6-7 million left over after those three guys are signed. Zach Martin, David Irving, DeMarcus Lawrence. Now, we can't sign Hitchens for that much. Oh, we could. We can do the same thing I just said about the contracts. We can give him $4 or $5 million this year, and then make it heavier in the backside of the contract. But there's other things we still have to think about and do. Now, one of those things is the $4 to $10 million that the NFL is supposed to tack on to every team's salary cap. They always raise it around that range every year. So we'll see what happens. Now, when I look down here and I see that we have a couple of roster cuts or non-re-signed players, I think that definitely is going to open up a good chunk of money. So let's hear it. Hear me out here, guys. And some of these guys already. Orlando Scandrick, 1.7. Not that much for again, if there's a way we can demote him, I wouldn't have a problem him being the depth on our defensive cornerbacks, But if he's going to be, a starter, I just rather break away from him. But that's about almost $2 million contract there. Benson Mayowa, all right, now he's our backup defensive end. You have Taco, you have Tapper. They're going to take over. So at this point, and I also have Tyrone Crawford on this list to be cut. That will free up $7.3 million. In my opinion, he's the biggest cut that we have to make. If you want to move Taco into that rotation, you want to move him into the starting lineup. So when you add Mayowa, you add Scandrick, you add Tyrone Crawford, and you add James Hanna, who we have Blake Jarwin guys to replace him for that kind of tight end spot. We also have Rico, remember, to come in and help out there, and also, eventually take over the torch from Jason Witten. So if you cut these four guys, this is my opinion out here. If you cut them, don't re-sign them, and that's not including Morris, Alfred Morris. It's not including Byron Bell or Chaz Green. I think Chaz Green still has 1 more year in his contract. Byron Bell will not be picked up, but these things you have to add back on when it opens up cap space for us when we don't pick up these contracts. So Byron Bell, Chaz Green, Alfred Morris, Tyrone Crawford, James Hanna, Benson Mayowa, and Orlando Scandrick. If these guys are all cut, you're looking at about probably close to, definitely at least over, let me just put it this, $15 million, easy, $15 million or more. So again, I'm not sure exactly how much Bell's contract would be or Chaz Green. Probably a couple million between both those guys, and Alfred Morris another couple million. So I'm looking at 14 million with Skandrick, Mayowa, Hanna, and Crawford. Those four guys, 14 million opens up on the salary cap. So now you add that 14 with the 6, you have 20 million open. Now you want to talk about restructuring contracts. Well, we have Des Bryant. If he restructures the contract, you can see that get down to about 7 million saved. You can save with Travis Frederick 7 million. You can save another 3 million with Sean Lee. You can even save in Dan Bailey and Jason Witten a little bit too. Now Tyron Smith, you don't want to touch that contract. So without Tyron Smith and these other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys I mentioned, Des Bryant, Travis Frederick, Sean Lee, Dan Bailey, Jason Witten, you're going to free up about $20 million with those guys. You could free up another 20. So now you have $40 million at your disposal if you really wanted to maximize that side of things. Now, I personally would try to not restructure as many of these contracts as possible. That's why it's at the bottom of my list, because I want to see what I can open up by not signing certain players. Tyrone Crawford, Hanna, Mayowa, Skandrick. You got 14, you got another 6, you got 20. Let's get Hitchens. All right, you want to get him to that good deal. You want to get him a deal like Zach Martin and make it light in the beginning with a good signing bonus and then make it heavy at the end. Do it. I think Hitchens is worth it. You can get him for $6 million for the first year with a signing bonus, and you stagger that throughout the length of the contract. That would be, I think, a fantastic thing. This is without even touching a restructured contract right now. This is just off of what we're going up here and cutting those 4 guys I said. And yes, Crawford, some of you guys don't like that. Sorry. Crawford, I think, needs to be moved on, and let's let Taco develop into the next level. It's time. He's 1 year in the league. He's looked better this season. Let him take over the reins. And you still have Tapper behind him, and I'm sure we'll draft somebody or pick somebody up, in the free agency, something like that. We'll see. Now let me catch some of your questions, guys. Let me tell me what you think. I think we could, if we actually were to maximize all of these restructures, we would actually probably have closer to. Let me add in there the 4 to 10 million. I did not add on that to this list. So if you add that on, you're almost up to 50 million, possibly up to 50 million, 45 to 50 at most. Restructure contracts with those particular cuts that I mentioned, and doing what we talked about when it comes to DeMarcus Lawrence, Irving, and Zach Martin. Those are the primary 3 guys we have to re-sign. So let's see here, guys. I'm going to take some of these questions here. Big Herb in the house. What's up, man? Thank you so much. Hey, guys, don't forget. And again, I say this because Big Herb's on right now. Check out his site, by the way. I like some of your music, man. I see Cruising in the house in there too. Giant fan representing. Guys, my Cowboys family, wristbands. If you want one, you don't have to if you don't want, but you're eligible. And once you hit the $10 donation, you're more than welcome to pass us along a mailing address you send this to, and we will send it to you ASAP, guys. By this weekend, we should have them all out. So by tomorrow, over the weekend. So hopefully you guys will be getting them sooner than later. And you guys know who you are who donated over 10. So thank you so much. And again, guys, the chat is still going on. I know that DJ Crown J, I don't see him on tonight. We'll be doing another video too tonight, doing a little preview of the wild card games. We'll be talking about the games as well in a moment. I want to take some of your questions. What do you think about the way I broke down the cap space situation? And that's if we didn't restructure, we have 20 million open without restructuring a contract, possibly up to 30 million depending on the addition to the salary cap by the NFL. Also, depending on if we sign Lawrence for a long-term contract. If that's the case, we open up another 5 million. So you got almost at least 30 million at best case scenario without restructuring one contract. Open. 30 million open after signing Lawrence, Irving, and Zach Martin. Now, that 30 million, you can put 7 or 8 to Hitchens and get him a contract that's lighter in the beginning and maybe heavier towards the end and make it worth his while. And I think that, you still have 25 or 23 or 22 million to play with getting a veteran left guard, veteran left tackle. We need to get a veteran left tackle for Tyron Smith when his back acts up. We might have to re-sign not only Jonathan Cooper, but find somebody that can maybe take the reins from him if his knee's not working because of what Garrett forced him to play basically that last game. So, yeah, you didn't miss that much there, Big Herb. But always, guys, I always say, go back and check the stream out. I just think that the cap space situation is not as dire as it seems, but there's a lot of options we have. I think cutting Skandrick, Mayowa, Hanna, Crawford Byron Bell, Chaz Green, Alfred Morris, and I say cut, I said either not re-sign, cut, whatever. That would open up $14 to $18 million. And that's after the other 5 or 6 we get from Zach Martin's restructure, and that's at worst. So when you add all that together, guys, you're getting $20 million right there. If we get a good increase, we get another 5 or 10. That's very possible. If we get DeMarcus Lawrence signed to a long term, that's another $5 million open, maybe more. So now you're looking at maybe with those two things happening, $30 to $40 million, and you still have not restructured one contract, which is only to our benefit, to the Cowboys' benefit as a team and for the future. So that's what we're playing with, guys. And sometimes it feels like we're playing with fire. But yes, you see, D. Will, when you do that, you're able to keep players like Bryce Butler. You're able to keep Anthony Hitchens, which are vital to your team. So I still believe we can keep those guys without breaking the bank and restructuring these big name contracts, these big player contracts. But those options are there. And if we do that, you're going to open up over $20 million with restructuring contracts for this season, which, again, makes room for Hitchens. Would you rather restructure and secure Hitchens or not restructure so it lessens the blow in the future, but you lose Hitchens? I don't know. I guess a lot of it depends on who we draft and what's going to happen in that situation. I vehemently believe that the Cowboys should end up drafting a Roquan Smith type and moving up in the draft a little bit. That's what I believe. Now, let me see here, guys. All right, Big Herb. Good that you're checking in, man. I appreciate you coming in here, man. Much love. Thank you. Let me get to the wild card picks, guys. I'm gonna do a quick wild card picks, I guess you'd say, by my Cowboys family. And again, they're not here right now, guys. We have family in town. Everyone's kind of busy, so we're trying to get these. I'm trying to do my daily thing. I had a lot of notes. Excited, to get this out there to you guys. So give me one moment, and let me see if I can give you the 1 o'clock. Tomorrow is going to be a 4 o'clock game or in the East Coast. So the first game tomorrow will be the afternoon game. And guys, we're going to look at these two teams right here. Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs. DeMarco Murray is not playing. DeMarco Murray, again, I'm going to say it, is not playing this game. He's out. Remember last year, Tennessee, they went to Kansas City last year in the playoffs, and they beat them, upset them. So this year, I think Kansas City's getting their payback, and I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Tennessee Titans tomorrow, guys, for the early game. That's my prediction. Now, as far as my Cowboys family, my family here, I'm going to tell you right now that fiance picked Chiefs. All right. Little G, little J, they actually did also pick the Chiefs. And Grandma picked the Chiefs. So looks like everybody picked the Chiefs in the first game, guys. And I do believe with Murray out, I do believe with that situation going, I do believe that on top of Kansas City wanting revenge, on top of Kansas City, developing a little bit better this season than they were last, in my opinion. I think that they're ready to move on, and if they win, they will probably be taking on the New England Patriots, which I think they beat them the first game of the year. You might see a reverse revenge on the Chiefs here if they go to New England next week and play them. So we'll see what happens, but I do believe it will be a close game until about the third quarter. I think Kansas City will pull away in this game. I do think they will beat them by 2 scores at least. So that's my prediction, guys. I think Kansas City wins it. Now, I made a little mistake last night. I'm correcting myself, but the night game tomorrow, guys, the evening game, the late game, the second game in the wild card playoffs. The Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints, and that is going to be a great battle. I think you got to remember, guys, these two teams are division rivals. It's been close. I just watched the replay of their game earlier this year. I mean, it was a good game. Cam Newton was a little, I think he's up and down. I think if he's in this game, they have a chance to win. But, and again, it's a tough pick for me, but I think that I'm going to say it. I think that the experience of Drew Brees and the experience of Sean Payton and that team will pull them through. I also think that Kamara, that little rookie, superstar, he's going to develop something big. I think that he's going to be the difference maker. Now, don't get me wrong. When I talk about difference makers and rookies, I'm talking about also McCaffrey from the Carolina Panthers. He's looked fantastic. That guy is almost unstoppable. But I think it's going to be too much in New Orleans. And I think that it will be a close game into the fourth quarter, but I think New Orleans pulls away and wins this game, guys. Now, as far as the rest of my Cowboys family, fiance went New Orleans. Little J, little G, New Orleans. Slewell's grandma, also New Orleans. So everybody went New Orleans, guys, as well. But I think it's going to be a close game. It's my personal prediction, my personal feeling. The earlier game won't be as close. This one, I'd say between probably a 3 or 4 point game. It's going to be interesting. We're going to simulate these games, guys, this evening. We're going to stream it here on My Cowboys Family. You guys can drop your comments. You guys can also super chat through there if you want, and donate through there as well if you want. So make sure you still hit, of course, always hit that like button for the stream. Hit subscribe if you're new. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Now, on to the next game. Again, guys, just so you guys remember, we did pick the Saints over Carolina. All right, but it's going to be a good game. Now, go to the Sunday games. All right, you have the Buffalo Bills, who snuck right in there when the Ravens blew that last moment, a fourth down play against the Cincinnati Bengals. But Buffalo will be traveling to the young guys, the defense, the Barry Church-led Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Bortles in the house and the whole crew there. Now, he's thrown 20 touchdowns this year, Blake Bortles. They are not the passing juggernauts that you might think with someone like Blake Bortles, who's, Leonard Fournette's missed like a lot of games this year. And when he's in there, though, he is pretty much 80 to 100 yards a game, this guy. So I think he's going to make the difference in tomorrow's game, although Buffalo has a good defense, or in Sunday's game. I think Buffalo has a good defense as well. And again, they have LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy. He is expected to play. He has an ankle injury. It was expected to be a lot more severe. I thought he was done when I saw that injury, but I think he thought he was done. But he's going to play. He's right now he's questionable. He's in practice and he's working hard, but it's not going to be enough. That Jacksonville defense, guys, is dominant. And I think that the only thing that can hurt them here is their inexperience. But at the same time, then the Bills also have some inexperience in this as well. I think the Jacksonville defense will take it in the end. And Jacksonville will be going, if they win, they will be going to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I hope somehow they can get to Big Ben's face. If they do, there's a chance there could be an upset there. So, in this game, and I think it will be, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be closer than people think. Early fourth quarter, I think Jacksonville takes over, beats Buffalo Bills, in my opinion. Now, the rest of my Cowboys family. Fiance, she picked? No one. No, wait. She picked the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. That's her pick as well. She believes that they will, for similar reasons in their defense, are going to win this game, not because of Blake Bortles. So as far as the kids, both children, little G and little J, both picked the J Jaguars. So they both picked it. And Grandma picked, oh, no one. There we go. The Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. So, as you can see, another unanimous sweep in our picks, guys. In our Buffalo-Jacksonville game, we all here at My Cowboys Family believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars will defeat the Buffalo Bills. I believe it will be a close game. It will be into the fourth quarter, probably pull away, probably win by 9 or 10 points, Jacksonville in the end. I'm assuming so. Maybe even up to, maybe it could be a 7-point game. But I think that they will hang in there. It'll be low. It should be low scoring unless the Jacksonville defense takes over. I think if defense takes over and really gets on top of them, then you can see a landslide. But for the most part, my prediction is going to be 7-point game, close, low scoring. In the end, Jacksonville wins. And last but not least, the afternoon game, the second game on Sunday, Atlanta Falcons and the LA Rams. I think it's going to be an awesome matchup. I think it's going to be a big, huge game. And I think people are overlooking the Atlanta Falcons in this one. I think the people are looking at the Falcons as, they're just a 6th seed. You got something you got to take into consideration here, okay? They were embarrassed last year in the Super Bowl by the New England Patriots. It's embarrassing. I'm glad the Cowboys have never suffered anything to that extent, because that would be hard to deal with, and you lose in that kind of a lead. But they bounced back. They were 3-0 at the beginning of the year. They bounced back. They had some rough times in the middle of the season, and they've bounced back. Devontae Freeman, question mark for this game. He is going to play, and he's going to play like a man on a mission. Now, let's not overlook the Rams. The Rams are a young, scrappy team. Great defense. Something that the Falcons do not have a consistent level of, their defense. So that defense is going to control this game, I think, at home against the Atlanta Falcons. I think that it's gonna be a very close game, and I think the Falcons have a mission, now a rejuvenation to try to, I don't think they're gonna make it to the Super Bowl, but I think they have a chance to upset some teams. But this is gonna be a good matchup as well. I think 3 out of these 4 games are gonna be close. I think the Tennessee Chiefs game is the only one that's gonna be a little bit more of a imbalance, I guess you can say. But in this game, and you got the young guys in the LA Rams, the young and inexperienced team, and the very experienced Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan. But I think defense is what's going to win this game. Matt Ryan has been too inconsistent. The Rams on defense have been very consistent. Todd Gurley, possible MVP, and I think he will reinstate that this weekend, this Sunday, against the Atlanta Falcons defense, they're all right, but they're nothing special. Not like the Rams. The Rams in Jacksonville, they got some special defenses out there. And that's why I personally am taking the LA Rams against the Atlanta Falcons. So, those are my 4 picks, guys. Now, my Cowboys family, the rest of the members here, well, fiance, Atlanta at the Rams, she's taking the LA Rams. Now, little J, my daughter, she, after much questioning, took the Rams as well. Now, little G, he has a thing for the Atlanta Falcons and has faith in them. So, guess who he took? Yes, the upset pick. He took the Atlanta Falcons, guys. And to clean it up, to finish it off, Grandma took the Rams. So, guys, everybody in my Cowboys family took the LA Rams in their first playoff games in 30-something years, since 1986. So, first Rams playoff game in LA since 1986. And we've all picked the Rams, except for little G. Little G took the upset special, the Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, keep that in mind when you've seen the picks. And, again, I'm going to put all these teams up on the screen here to give you our last, pick, or at least my last pick. You can know where everybody else is. But my opinion on who's going to win and who's not, I think, in the first game, Tennessee, Kansas City's going to win that, guys. And you go back for the explanation if you like. New Orleans, Carolina is going to go down in the tough one. Division battle right there, guys, against the New Orleans Saints. Then the next day on Sunday, I think you're gonna I think you're gonna see Jacksonville's young team, and Buffalo's young too, but they're gonna defeat them. So that's my opinion. I'm going all home teams, guys, and it's tough. These are going to be 3 out of these 4. I think are tough games, including that last one. But I think the Rams take it with their defense. So as you can see, this is who I think the next week's playoff games are. The winners are for this week, and I think that the Chiefs are going to travel to New England. If this works out, Chiefs go to New England. I think New England's a tough team, guys. If anybody can beat them, I'm hoping it's at least the Chiefs. So they beat them in the first game of the year. Let's hope. When it comes to the Saints, they will be going, in this scenario, they'll be going to Philadelphia in the cold. I hope that Drew Brees, Sean Payton can put together, a good game, a good game plan in the cold and out there, maybe in the snow against the Philadelphia Eagles to defeat them without Wentz. So I think the Saints have a chance there. Jacksonville will go to New England. I'm sorry, we'll go to Pittsburgh. My fault, guys. And I think Jacksonville and Pittsburgh, I think Jacksonville might take this. We got to see how they play this first game first. If they get to the next round, though, I think they have a chance to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would make me happy. And, guys, the Rams, they would go to Minnesota. I think that would be a fantastic game, a low-scoring game, a defensive battle in Minnesota. That'll be a fun game, and I'm looking forward to that one. But I want to see 3 teams out, guys, of the playoffs as far as I'm concerned. I want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers out of the playoffs. I want to see the New England Patriots out of the playoffs. And I want to see the Philadelphia Eagles out of the playoffs. We got to wait next week's games to see if they do manage to slip out of the playoffs, guys. So, I mean, again, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. After this post, let me know what you think about my predictions for this week and the rest of my Cowboys family. But basically, we all picked the same picks except for Little G. Little G picked the Atlanta Falcons over the LA Rams on Sunday afternoon, I guess. So, guys, again, just a reminder, hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell. Make sure that's turned on so you get our notifications. I'm going to try to run 2 live streams tonight from and kind of do a preview of the wild card games, guys. So for the games for tomorrow, let's see how that works. I'm going to try to get my hands on that PlayStation. My daughter Little J is having so much fun with the VR right now. So I'm gonna give her a little break. When she takes a break, I'm gonna jump on there and we'll simulate. We'll do a little more football talk, guys, and a little bit more fun than the news of the day. Everything, all that news will be on here, so keep that in mind. And we'll touch on some other stuff in these streams. We'll talk about more things. And I'll be able to converse with you guys a little better too, because I'm trying to really get all the information out. And there's so much info, guys, so much. So, guys, I hope you guys stick around for the live stream later tonight. Let's see here. Big Herb, just been working. Okay, man, good job. Ronnie Harris. We're talking about rookies. I have to check into that. But let's see here. OJ Simpson. Diane says, Cowboy Nation in the house. What's up, Pat? Please answer questions. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Diane. I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible. Definitely Super Chat would help that. I would definitely catch the questions a lot sooner, but I have to get the kind of the information, the news out. Recap of the picks. Let me see if I still have that Cowboys X Factor. Let's see. Kareem Hunt, Kansas City. Yeah, no, I mean, that's going to be a good game. I do think that they're going to take over. Now, here's the thing here, Cowboys. You get the Bills upsetting the Jags. Could be, but I think Jacksonville wins with that defense. Here's the mock draft that was done. It was Matt Miller's board they used, and it was used with Fanspeak Simulator. So round one, they had us taking Cortland Sutton, wide receiver. I disagree with that pick. No wide. We should go with linebacker, trade up if possible. Second round, Josie Jewell, linebacker, Iowa. Third round, offensive guard, Will Hernandez, UTEP. Fourth round, remember, guys, we have 3 fourth-round picks. Fourth round, our first fourth-round pick, defensive end from UTSA, Marcus Davenport. Another fourth-round pick after him, cornerback from Texas, Holton Hill. And then we have here the third fourth-round pick, Troy Fumagalli, tight end, Wisconsin. And these are the people they picked. Round 5, we have Damon Webb, safety, Ohio State. We have 2 fifth-rounders now. If we don't trade it to go up to get Roquan Smith, then these guys are possibilities, I'm assuming. The other fifth-round pick later on is defensive lineman from North Carolina State, Kentarius Street. They have round 6, Sky Moore, linebacker, South Carolina. Round 7, running back from Wisconsin, Myles Gaskin. Now, I'm not sure about the players, but as far as the positions, except for that first one, kind of agree with some of the positions. With the fact that we would take a running back late, taking a receiver late, taking an offensive guard, taking a linebacker, taking a safety. These are defensive end, defensive tackle. These are a cornerback as well, a tight end. So I think these are good positions to look at if you're going to use all 10 of your picks. We have 10 picks, but 5 of them are in the 4th and 5th rounds. So I think if we can package, and you want to get a real impact player on defense, that's what you do. I think we have impact players on offense. We need an impact player on defense. We got to go. If we want to go really get serious, get Roquan Smith. Trade it. Trade your 4th, trade a 5th, and trade that first and go up 4, 5, 6 picks, whatever it is that you can get with that. And you'll be able to hopefully snag Roquan Smith if he's still there when you want him. You make the deal with the team that's there. And that's the way it usually works with these kind of things. So I think that there's a chance that if we do that, we don't get all these guys that I mentioned here. Not even sure if these guys will be eligible or able to be gotten. And we won't get as much depth when it comes to rookies. But we will get a home run hitter in Roquan Smith, a linebacker that can, if you put him along, and we re-sign Hitchens, as I stated before, there is a possible way of doing that. So without having to restructure many, if any, contracts, and still holding on to Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, and David Irving. So if you look at it like that, I think that we can easily establish one of the best young defenses in the league. On top of what I think is still one of the best, skill position. When I say skill position, I mean quarterback or running back offenses in the league. One of the best offensive lines in the league. And again, I still think we go second round. I think first round we go linebacker. Second round, again, this depends on who's available. But second round, offensive guard / versatile swing tackle. I think we go something like that. And then maybe safety, third round. There was other good positions I liked in there. Defensive tackle, run stopper, 4th round. Defensive end, 5th round. Tight end, 5th round. I'm just saying these are the guys we have to look at to get. And then finish up with the receiver and a running back towards the end of the rounds, in the late 5th, 6th, or 7th round. Go with the running back, go with receiver to kind of cushion the bottom in case we don't re-sign Butler. In case we we have nobody past Rod Smith that's really on the running backs squad here. But again, these are the things that, these are the things that I think that are mainly the things to look for when it comes to what we should draft for. And then you talk about defensive tackle, who's going to step into that spot. It should not be a rookie. It should be a veteran. It should be someone we have that extra 20 to 40 million we can open up, along with Hitchens and a couple other guys we can sign. Get a veteran line, left tackle, blindside guy. That's what we really need. So let's see. That's the roll call as far as the draft, mock draft that I saw. So to finish this up, guys, I'm going to shout you guys out here. I hope you guys caught if not, most of the show. If not, go back and check it out, guys. We're going to do more of these tonight. At least one stream, maybe broken into 2 streams, but Saints game we're going to stream it, mock stream, whatever you want to call it, simulation. We're going to do the Tennessee Kansas City game right after this as well. So, make sure you guys stay tuned for that and keep your notifications on. Hit like for the stream, guys. I'm going to remind you again, hit that like button for the stream. It helps the channel. Hit subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell as well. And again, we do have the super chat. Even during the Madden games, even if I'm streaming it through the PS4, you guys are still eligible to hit that super chat. And it looks right now that Big Herb's gonna win this thing. DJ Crown J has won it the last 2 weeks, and I'm still waiting to hear back from him on what he wants to do for his victory. So we can do that whenever. We can wait a little longer to do whatever he wants to do for it. But we'll be definitely checking in with DJ Crown J soon, guys. If you look at the scrolls beneath me here, you'll see that there's a January 20th is a big meeting of the minds when it comes to the Cowboy Nation, and we're going to be a bunch of Cowboy YouTubers going to be talking about what the Cowboys are going to look into doing next. And we all have our little different spins on it, and you're going to hear from people like Space Cowboy 17, Cowboys Legend, TCDC, Dallas Cowboy Football News, but you're also going to see maybe even Law Nation say hi, sneak in there. So make sure you stay tuned, guys. As you can see at the bottom, it says January 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's the tentative time right now. Make sure you subscribe to the other guys I just mentioned. They have the information as well. We'll be all streaming it from our own, channels. So let's see here, guys. See a bunch of you in here. Any questions or comments, guys? Make sure you let me know. What's that? So just make sure you guys hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we're going to do our live stream in a moment shortly, probably within a half hour or so, for the preview for the playoff games, guys. I'm expecting to see some good playoff games this weekend, so we shall see. Guys, much love. Take care and stay safe out there, guys. Never forget, the most important thing on this channel, you know what it is. Go Cowboys, baby! Woo! All right, man. We'll see you soon for the Madden live streams coming up shortly. Much love, guys. Take care. Peace.